Today we're going to talk about how to film a video intro, but more importantly, what you should be talking about in that intro. So, does anyone know who Rene Rodriguez is? I got to hear him speak at the event that I was at in Las Vegas, and then I actually also got to have dinner with him later and kind of have some one-on-one time and talk to him. And then he also came and visited with us in this mentorship program that I'm in with Alec Hansen. And he did this really cool activity that talks about how you can introduce yourself and speak to others in a way that is going to be more impactful than what we're used to. He did an exercise with us that I'm going to be doing here today on One Lucky Volunteer. Whoever wants to be in the hot seat. So I'm going to show a short video. I'm not going to show the whole thing, just the first like 10 seconds.
You're going to hear me talk about this word influence a lot because at the end of the day, if I present or if I speak, and nobody does anything as a result of it, what have I done?
I think that sums up what we're all trying to do, right? We all want to talk to our clients, but if they, in the end, they don't do what we're asking them to do, are we really leaving an impact? And so we're going to go through an exercise here that's going to talk about how we can just make ourselves have a little bit more presence and more value when we're talking to our clients. In our current market, it's described in many, many different ways, right? And the way that we answer that question will determine your success overall. And the most important thing that you need to remember when asking this question is...
That's an important question.
So how's that for everyone? First thoughts when I left the room.
This is part of the show.
Is this part of the show? It is part of the show. So Rene did this in our little meeting as well, and everyone was like, what the hell? Where did the guy go, right? What happened? And you guys all experienced that same thing. I was in the middle of a sentence and I left the room. There was a gap in the narrative. So this is where it gets kind of cool. So we've got this narrative gap, which is right here. Now, we as human beings, our brains don't handle gaps of information very well. Whenever there's a pause, our brain automatically fills them with information. They could be assumptions, they could be the truth. We don't actually know. So think about like the way things are explained. So let's say we're having this meeting and our CEO was supposed to show up and then he doesn't show up. One person could say, oh, well, he's probably just off buying another yacht. Or maybe another person says, well, I actually know him pretty well. He might be really busy and that's why he's not here today. Two completely different, pieces of information, but which one do we trust? It all comes down to which one is the truth. And for that is where the source matters. So how do you become that trusted source of information? And so that's a little bit about what we're going to talk about and how you present yourself in these videos and how you explain who you are to your clients. You want them to be able to trust you. How do you do that? Especially in such a short amount of time when we're talking about like a 3-minute intro video. Let's get some feedback about the current market. What do you guys feel? How do you feel about the current market, Nick?
Good.
Good? Man, it's terrible.
Do you want me to write for you?
No. I want you to tell me how you feel about the market. And? Chris? How do you feel about the market?
Thanks for writing.
Feel hopeful. Okay. Hopeful, meh. Joe, how you feeling about the market?
A lot of opportunity.
A lot of opportunity? Okay. Good enough. All right, so.
Put interesting on there.
Interesting. This is how we as loan officers, real estate agents, we live in the market. We all have pretty positive feelings about it for the most part, right? Now, how do you think your clients and the general public feels?
Scared. Terrified.
Confused.
Okay, there's a good one. Now, is there a difference between how we feel and how they feel?
Yes.
Absolutely. So this is that gap. It's the us versus them. So we need to fill this gap. So how do we do that?
Make them
By educating them?
Correct. Educating. But again, how do they know to trust you rather than someone else?
Our knowledge.
Rather than knowledge.
Right, exactly.
Give them facts.
And this is why video is important. If we're not out there consistently sharing and being that source of knowledge, then how do they know that they can be the ones that come to us for trust? We have to fill in that gap. Because right now, who is filling in the gap for our clients?
Media.
Media. Absolutely. What's the media saying?
Oh, God.
Interest rates are going up.
Most of it is false. So,
Don't buy it.
exactly, don't buy. Market's crashing. Or some random keyboard warrior or just someone that doesn't know what they're talking about. You ever heard that? Well, my dad said I shouldn't buy right now.
Your dad?
The dad's the uncle.
My mom got a 3% interest rate last year, so I want that interest rate right now.
You're right.
So I want to talk about that power of influence, and this is the exercise that Rene did with us. So I'm going to need a volunteer. All right, Stacy, explain who you are and what makes you unique.
Am I talking to you as am I?
Yeah, like to a client.
Okay. So I've been in business 20 years,
Okay.
and I think I've been through the good, the bad. I try to keep up on everything that's in the market in our job,
Okay.
whether it's the real estate side or the lending side. I'm not going to tell you something that's not true. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you something that is just going to make you do a loan with me.
Got it, okay. So, how do you like your feedback? Do you want me to be straight to the point?
I
or
think
just
it's
sugar
pretty
coat
shitty.
stuff?
Go ahead.
Are there any other lenders that have been in business for 20 years, or is that unique to just her?
Everybody
No.
has been.
Everybody.
Do you think other lenders also want to do the best for their clients and tell them the truth? Or
Yes.
probably
Yeah,
not?
they do. So nothing
So
new.
did you really wow us with something
No, I did
unique?
not.
Did it blow us out of the water?
It did not.
It did not. But that's okay. We all are like that, right? That's our initial gut reaction, is to say what we are and what we do. But that's not unique. That doesn't drive anything, doesn't create any sort of emotion, and it leaves room for this. So how do we do that? How do we fill that gap in an introduction? So here it is, kind of how this works. So our values that we have now are typically formed between the ages of 9 and 13, according to science. You guys ever seen the movie Inside Out? Pixar movie? The little core values. That's a real thing. If you think about your life and your memories and the things that you've gone through to become who you are today, there's typically two situations. There's either a situation where you have a positive influence in your life, somebody that showed you the right way, somebody that you wanted to be, a mentor, whatever it was in your life, or it's the opposite. You had a situation in your life where there was no one around to show you how to do things correctly, and so you had to overcome that, and it created who you are today. Whether you know it or not, if you really think about it, those situations in life really change us and create who we are today. So for you, would you say you had more of a shining light individual in your life, or you were the one that needed to shine the light?
No, I never had that.
Never had that. So tell us a little bit about your childhood. Between those ages of 9 and 13, what was going
I
on?
thought I had the perfect family.
Okay.
At 10, they decided to get divorced, but they didn't because I said they would never see me again if they
Okay.
got divorced, so they stayed together. So I've always tried to do the best that I can, be honest. Sometimes I think I get too involved. And I
Okay.
think that's my own worst enemy because I want you to like me. You know what I mean? It just doesn't matter. And that's what I need to get over. It's the negative that I hear my mom in the background, you're never good enough.
Yeah.
24/7. I'm a different breed on that part of it,
Yeah,
but I know I can do it.
for sure.
If that makes sense.
No, it absolutely does. And so this is how you want to kind of reshape the way you introduce yourself. And it gets a little bit deep and you get a little vulnerable. I mean, that's something that is unique to you. You had a situation where your parents, they wanted to get divorced. They wanted to, move on, but they stayed together so that, that they can be there for you. And that created a negative impact on your life that you don't want to see repeated to those that you love. So now here's how we reshape the story. Like when I was a kid, my parents wanted to get a divorce, but ultimately did not, and it led to a lot of contention and lots of fights. And unfortunately, I never felt, truly like they cared about me, and it is not something I ever want anyone to feel. So for me and my clients, I really strive to make sure that they never have to have an experience like that. I will do whatever it takes because that's how I had to live my life as a child. And so for my clients and anyone that comes to me, they know that they have a trusted person that is not just going to say, sorry, your situation's too hard, I'm not going to help you. I'm here to fight for every single person, for the underdog, for those that think they can't get qualified, whatever it takes. I am that person that is going to make sure that they know their worth and their value and that they truly can purchase a home. And if they can't now, we're going to get them on a plan and we're going to take care of them. And that is how I treat my clients. Is that a little bit more impactful than I've been doing this for 20 years? I do a good job?
Totally.
Right. That's all we did. All we did was change the story around. So you got to find something within, your childhood or whatever it was that shaped who you are. You said it could be through a negative experience, it could be through a positive experience. But if you share the story first and then explain how that creates who you are, was that a holy shit moment?
That's kind of a holy shit moment.
Right? You got the tingles?
Wow.
So that's all this is. So this was an activity that Rene did with all of us, and it really just opened my eyes to like, holy shit, it is about how we explain ourselves, and if we just share a little bit of that with ourselves, then there's no room to fill a narrative gap. Are we thinking any differently about her now? No, we know more about her. So thank you for sharing that, Stacey. I know that was difficult. So. So now we're just going to get into some video 101 stuff. So now that we have, so start thinking about what impactful experience you had in your life, and then that is going to shape your video and your introduction. So when I went through this exercise, I have a very basic, generic, hi, I'm Braden Hash, I do mortgage loans for my current video. And after I went through this exercise, I filmed a completely new one. Haven't edited yet on purpose, but I want to show you a few things. So video 101, camera placement. Notice where I'm at. Am I above you, below you?
In the center.
Eye level, right?
Looking.
So when you're framing your video, when we talk to individuals, typically you want to be face-to-face, eye level with them. You typically don't want a super busy background. I know mine is in the bar, it's a little bit busy, but it's a cool background. So, and then you want to have lighting. You always want to make sure that the lighting is in front of you and not behind you. There's not like an open window or light shining. That's going to cause it to be a little bit weird. So eye level. Make sure the audio is good, and then the lighting. All of this stuff really matters. That's why I use a microphone. Have you ever been on like a Zoom call and someone is just using their microphone that's on the computer and you can tell and it's echoing all over the place and it sounds like they're in the bathroom? It's distracting, right? So you don't want to have any of that in your video that could cause a distraction. So you want to have a nice, if you've got a microphone, great. We have obviously our equipment room here. The microphone is legit. Fabio can show you how to set it up. So you want to be talking into a microphone, have good audio, have good lighting. Now, who's ever edited a video before? Brittany, Nick. What do you guys use? iMovie? Okay.
iMovie, I've done Filmora, I've done Adobe Premiere,
Okay.
but it doesn't mean I'm great at it.
No, it's all good. Editing sucks and it's really hard.
It took me like an hour to figure out how to
Yeah, I edit on Instagram also, or like TikTok.
Oh yeah. Some apps you
I'm
can
cool of like
edit.
editing through that. You can like clip videos and
So for your actual video, what I recommend is Canva. Anyone ever used Canva before?
yes.
Canva's legit and it's super user friendly. It's completely free unless you pay for the upgraded version, which is super inexpensive. But for our purposes, if you go to Canva, the main screen here, see they've got all these little different things. You got presentations, social media. Go over to video, and then you'll use the YouTube video template. This will put it in that correct format that is good for both Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube if you have a YouTube channel. And then from here, it's really easy. Watch how simple this is. So you go to uploads, so you take the video, and you just drag and drop it. And then, so like I'm walking on camera for the first part, so all I need to do to shorten it is just get to where I need to be. Video's cut. And then let's say I mess up somewhere in the middle, split page, and you can shorten stuff on either side, cut it however you need to. It's that easy.
It's easy though.
Yeah.
It is easy.
I end up just
It's
getting
drag and
all my
drop.
stuff.
Yeah, it's drag and drop. It's super, super simple. And then the other thing you want to do, I don't have it in here now because Kayla normally does this for me, but you want your contact card. So your contact card is available on the marketing spot of your CRM. And so it's basically just that, it's all that disclaimer stuff, the equal housing, all of those things. You want to add that to the end of your video. So the same idea, it'll be under images, you upload it, and then you just drop it into this one right here.
So on these videos, do you have to have your NMLS numbers and everything on every one?
Yeah, not on every frame. Just on ours, we just need the contact card at the end. So for us to stay compliant, we just need that contact card. That's what a contact card looks like.
Great. And so you're putting this on at the beginning of all your videos?
The end of every video.
The end of every video. Okay, got it.
Yeah, so you just want to attach that on there. So again, just through Canva, you drop in your video, and then at the very end, there'll be a little slide here. You just drop the photo in there, and then it'll play to the end. And then you can show how long it's in there. Yeah, you like that? And you can upload your GIFs on Canva as well. So if I wanted myself dancing throughout the whole video in the bottom corner, you could do that. Drag and drop, piece of cake. after you make your intro video, you want to pin it. And so right here, mine's already pinned, but if you click these little 3 dots on the video, you can do pin post. And so no matter what videos I upload, that intro video is always the first one that shows up on my feed. So if someone's coming to my page for the very first time, if I call a realtor for the first time, they want to see who I am, and if they go to my page, they're always going to see my intro video very first thing because I pinned it. So those are really just the very simple ones. So after you make the video with good camera placement, eye level, audio, lighting, edit within Canva, upload it to Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube if you have it, and then you pin the post on Facebook so it stays there. And then that's it. It's my whole class for you.